Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Vegan, of course. Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering. Off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler review series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff and drink stuff then, folks. I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I kind of thought I was done with this brand, but guess not. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yam around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, side profile. I'm wearing a Not Grody work shirt. Folks, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing a Not Grody work shirt, typically that means I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. And that's absolutely the case today. I went over there and decided after I got off of work, I needed some supplies, specifically milk, of the milk variety. And I decided to go over there and stop off at a local supermarket chain called Jewel Osco. I just got through reviewing a couple of breakfast items from them, specifically their sausage, egg, and cheese crust sandwich, and also some potato tots. Both of those reviews will be available. But as I was making my way through the produce section, I saw a brand that I'm familiar with at this point, and I've certainly reviewed enough of their stuff, but they had a new flavor. So, what am I doing? I'm reviewing, boom, from Slice, their watermelon prebiotic, probiotic, healthy soda. So, if you're unfamiliar with the Slice brand, it was originally owned by PepsiCo back in them thar days. They held on to it through, I believe, into the early 2000s, and they were mostly a line of fruit-flavored beverages. It was kind of their whole thing to, sort of battle against, like, 7-Up and Sprite and all that stuff. And it had its run, but it faded out, and eventually Pepsi just, canceled it. Just said, nah, let's do it. But some other company decided to go over there and pick up the naming rights and all that stuff and reinterpret it with under the, sort of alternative soda label with the prebiotics and probiotics. I have reviewed every flavor of this that I've found, whether it's the cola, the orange, the lemon lime, what have you. Those reviews are already on my channel. Now we're doing watermelon, I guess. Sure. 4 grams of sugar. Let's get a thing for the thing. It looks like watermelon. Yeah. All right. And I should mention, as I mentioned in my other reviews, I never really had Slice when it was a thing. Like, I was alive during its run, but I don't know. For some reason, I never remember having it. I probably did at some point, but I think my family was more of a Crush family, so. That's not bad at all. That's rather tasty. I like that. Yeah, okay. So here's the thing with the Slice brand, the current incarnation. For my money, the flavors have been very hit or miss. Some of them I've really liked, some I've thought were very kind of and there was like 1 or 2 where I was like, I don't know about that. This, thankfully, is in the upper tier of that. And the funny thing is that I wouldn't necessarily have assumed it because when it comes to watermelon sodas, that's another, sort of sub-variety of soda that is very hit or miss for me because I am not big on the overly amped up watermelon flavor that a lot of companies use. I just feel like they make it too tangy, and it's just why. It doesn't taste like watermelon. Watermelon is a very mellow flavor. That's what I want. This does have a little bit of an amped up flavor to it, but I think it works in a couple of capacities. Number one, I think it does a good job of sort of hiding that prebiotic, probiotic flavor, because if you've ever had that, yeah, it's kind of medicine-y. But a great way to go over there and sort of, mask that a little bit is to use stuff that's a little bit tangy, very fruity, And so having that, slightly amped up watermelon flavor works in that regard. Here's the other thing. They didn't amp it up too much. It certainly is more tangy than actual watermelon, because actual watermelon has no tang. But it's not obnoxious. Like, the best example I always use, going back to Crush, is crushed watermelon. Crushed watermelon, although it has its place, tastes like you're drinking a Jolly Rancher. I've even reviewed it in the past. You can go watch that review if you're interested. I do not like that level of watermelon flavor. It's just too much for me. This, it risked getting to that point. My brain was like, oh crap, man, this is going to be another thing. But then, it dialed itself way back and ends up being a nice, refreshing, very nice and fruity drink. And like, yeah, I'm very down with this. It drinks very nice and smooth. Yeah, that's actually really nice. That is like about the level of tanginess that I want from a watermelon soda. Because I don't want it to be tart. I don't want tart watermelon. I want it to be nice and just refreshing. And this kind of perfectly hits on that. It can maybe be a little bit sweeter, but honestly, I'm perfectly fine with it being where it is. It's really, genuinely a really nice, tasty watermelon soda. I'm glad I got 2 of them. They were 2 for $4, so. Okay. Well, 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Clearly and clearly. I like that. That might be, if that's not my favorite slice flavor, it's certainly up there. I like everything about that. I like the way that the watermelon was utilized. I like that it's not overly tangy. It's a nice, refreshing flavor. And you don't really get any of that prebiotic, probiotic flavor. So it's doing a really good job of holding that down. I don't know if I'd say that I think it tastes exactly like a normal soda. I would say it's maybe like a diet soda. But it's got good flavor, nice and refreshing, drinks really smooth. And yeah, definitely one of the best implementations I've had of watermelon in a soda. I'm down with that. If I'm recommending it, when it comes to like the alternative soda thing, it's always kind of weird to recommend, because it's like, who am I recommending it to? Am I recommending it to people like me who typically don't go in for the alternative soda stuff, but like maybe you're just interested, maybe you want to explore it as an option? Or am I going over there and recommending it to people who are already in that scene, already have their favorite brands and stuff like that? In both instances, though, I'm saying yes and yes. I think that, especially if you're somebody like me, who you're not, like a dedicated alternative soda fan, this is honestly one of the flavors, be it slice or otherwise, that comes close to being just tasting like basically a normal soda. Again, maybe a diet soda, but the flavor's there, and it doesn't have the hang-ups that a lot of these alternative sodas do. It's a really nice tasting, drink overall. If you're somebody who, again, you've already got your favorite brands and stuff, I mean, whether or not I can sway you towards slice, out of the flavors that I've had, which as far as I know is all of them, but again, they keep popping up with new ones, I guess, this, I think, is one of the better ones. So I think if you want to try out the Slice brand stuff, the new stuff, this is one of the ones to go for. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there themselves a truly watermelon-tastic rest of your life, because watermelon's delicious. Just, it doesn't need to be, like, people put salt on watermelon. Why? It's watermelon. Leave it alone. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, this is the last review that I'm doing for the day. Because I just got through, like I said, doing this. I did a couple breakfast things. Plus, I've been drinking milk. Yeah, I'm done. I am done on a bun, son. But thankfully, well, kind of thankfully, got the night off so I can rest and recuperate from my milk misadventures. You folks have a great one. Bye!